Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving deep into a book that completely changed how I think about money. The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel. This isn't your typical finance book filled with complex charts and jargon. Instead, it's a collection of timeless stories that reveal the strange and often irrational ways we behave with money. It's less about what you know and more about how you behave. And behavior is hard to teach, even to really smart people. So, grab a coffee, get comfortable, and let's explore some life-changing lessons that can help you build real, lasting wealth. The first big idea is that no one is crazy. It sounds simple, right? But think about it. Your personal experiences with money shape your financial worldview more than any textbook ever could. Someone who grew up during the Great Depression will view risk and saving completely differently than a tech entrepreneur who came of age during the dot-com boom. Your financial decisions make sense to you based on the unique information and experiences you have. So, when you see someone making a money decision you think is absurd, remember, their reality is different from yours. This insight helps us be more empathetic and less judgmental, both towards others and ourselves. Next up is one of my favorite concepts, the difference between being rich and being wealthy. Being rich is about your current income. You see it all the time. Fancy cars, big houses, expensive vacations. It's visible, it's loud, and it's often what we aspire to. But being wealthy? That's something entirely different. Wealth is the money you don't spend. It's the assets in your investment accounts, the savings that are quietly compounding, the financial security that gives you freedom and options. Wealth is hidden. The danger is that we often try to become wealthy by acting rich, spending money to show people how much money we have. But the path to true wealth is almost the opposite. It's about humility, discipline, and playing the long game. Wealth is what grants you control over your time, which is the ultimate dividend money can pay. This brings us to a crucial point. Nothing is free. Housel explains that everything has a price, but that price isn't always obvious. For investing, the price of great long-term returns is not just money, it's volatility, fear, doubt, and uncertainty. You have to be willing to pay the price of watching your portfolio go down without panicking and selling. It's the fee you pay for being in the market and capturing its long-term growth. When you see market volatility as a fee, not a fine, your whole perspective shifts. You stop trying to avoid it and start seeing it as a normal part of the journey to building wealth. Just like you pay for a product at a store, you have to pay the market's price of admission, which is dealing with its ups and downs. Another powerful lesson is to get the goalposts to stop moving. How many times have you heard stories of people who achieve incredible success only to risk it all for more? This happens because of social comparison. As you make more money, your expectations and desires rise with it. You start comparing yourself to a new, wealthier peer group. It's a dangerous game of more that has no logical end. The only way to win is to not play. You have to define what enough means for you. It's about having an appetite for more, but also knowing when you're full. Being content with what you have doesn't mean you stop striving. It just means you're not willing to risk what you have and need for something you don't have and don't need. Let's talk about the power of compounding. We've all heard about it, but Housel frames it beautifully. He uses the example of Warren Buffett. A huge portion of Buffett's net worth was accumulated after his 65th birthday. His real secret wasn't just being a great investor, it was being a great investor for an incredibly long time. The power of compounding isn't just about high returns, it's about good returns sustained over the longest possible period. Time is the most powerful force in investing. This is why it's so critical to start saving and investing as early as possible, no matter how small the amount. You don't need to find the next 10-bagger stock. You just need to be consistent, patient, and let time do the heavy lifting for you. Hand in hand with compounding is the idea of staying in the game. Your financial success depends less on making a few brilliant moves and more on consistently avoiding big mistakes. The most important thing is to ensure you can stick around long enough for compounding to work its magic. This means having a high savings rate, maintaining a cash cushion for emergencies, and not taking on so much risk that a single bad outcome can wipe you out. Financial planning should be built around survival. You want to be financially unbreakable. If you can stay in the game during the inevitable downturns and personal crises, you've already won half the battle. Your longevity as an investor is your greatest asset. Another key takeaway is the seductive nature of pessimism. Financial pessimism always sounds smarter and more plausible than optimism. When someone predicts a market crash, they sound like a savvy realist. When someone predicts long-term growth, they can sound like a naive salesperson. But history shows that over the long run, optimism is the correct stance. The world breaks, but it also improves. Progress is slow, but it's constant. Being an optimist doesn't mean ignoring risks. It means understanding that setbacks and problems are a normal part of the journey, but the overall trend for humanity and for markets has been upward. Pessimism makes you a spectator, while optimism allows you to be a participant in that growth. And finally, Housel urges us to embrace the concept of reasonable over rational. In a spreadsheet, the most rational decision is always clear. But we're not spreadsheets, we're emotional human beings. The best financial plan for you isn't the one with the highest potential return on paper. It's the one you can actually stick with during good times and bad. It's okay to have a little more cash than is optimal if it helps you sleep at night. It's okay to invest in a simple index fund instead of trying to pick individual stocks if it keeps you from making emotional decisions. Be reasonable with yourself. The goal is not to be perfectly cold and rational. It's to be consistently good enough over a long period. That's what ultimately leads to success. So, to wrap it all up, the psychology of money teaches us that finance is less about math and more about human behavior. It's about understanding your own biases, defining what enough means to you, and focusing on what you can control: your savings rate, your patience, and your time horizon. True wealth is about having the freedom and options to live life on your own terms. It's a journey of behavior, not just brains. I really hope these insights were as helpful for you as they were for me. If you've read the book, I'd love to hear your biggest takeaways in the comments below. And if you haven't, I can't recommend it enough. Thanks so much for watching today. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next one. Until then, stay curious and keep learning. See you soon.